But when I heard about Krishna's rasa dance with Krishna, I mean with the gopis, then immediately, no one had to tell me, immediately, within my heart, I wished that I could also become like the gopis and dance with Krishna in the rasa dance. Within the first week, I saw Krishna. I got darshan of Krishna within the first week of my involvement with this Hare Krishna movement. So powerful is this movement. People don't understand the potency of this movement. People don't understand. They take it cheaply. They don't care for it. Maybe they didn't have the experiences that I experienced, but when I experienced Krishna coming home from the pasturing grounds and seeing him coming home from the pasturing grounds with my own eyes, within the first week, he revealed himself to me and convinced me that he was a reality. I saw Krishna and Balaram and all the cowherd boys and all the cows. I heard their transcendental flutes. I heard their transcendental ankle bells overcoming me. They overwhelmed me and inundated my heart with transcendental bliss. Who was doing that? It wasn't my own figment of my imagination. Krishna personally appeared before me with all of his cowherd boys and calves. That's what convinced me never to leave this movement. It was Prabhupada's movement that did that. Only 1 week of the movement, and I got so much mercy. We didn't even have deities in the temple. He personally came. The living, moving, beautiful Krishna all around. And all the cowherd boys so beautifully smiling and making such an incredibly joyous noise. Amazing.
Now when you tell you something, and about Krishna, and then they just jump over gopis and sometimes this is not for us. You just forget. Don't be mental. Don't be sabaji.
It's all nonsense. I'm telling you, these people are total nonsense. They have no eligibility. Simply by seeing the beautiful picture. Not only that, I picked up Bhagavad Gita. I was smoking dope. I was smoking my father's marijuana. Sitting in my father's house. Completely bewildered. I opened up the Bhagavad Gita. I had already read Ishopanishad, and in spite of the fact that I was still smoking marijuana, I hadn't given it up. But I recognized just when I finished reading the Ishopanishad, I realized that I couldn't go back. I realized that I had met my eternal spiritual master. That he had come to rescue me. But still I was attached. I was still smoking the marijuana. It took me 1 week to give up smoking marijuana. 1 week after I finished reading, it took me 1 week to read Ishopanishad because I sat down with a dictionary and read every line very, very carefully. And I became so convinced. I remember when I read it, I was afraid to read about the author. because I was afraid to read about the person that I had surrendered to. But it so affected me that even without knowing what was done to us, even without knowing what it meant to bow down to anyone, my head was on the floor, and I was pouring incessant tears because I realized that my material life was totally finished. You know? And then within a week's time, I came to the movement. I joined on Easter Sunday, a week after. My father drove me to the temple, and he was telling that don't you think that you'll be limiting yourself by monastic life? And I told him that the material world is limited, that the spiritual world is unlimited. So if I can get to the unlimited spiritual world, through the doorway of monastic life, then it cannot be called as limited. I explained that to him, and he was convinced. He let me go. Then, but I sat down in my father's home and picked up Bhagavad Gita, and I read that in the introduction, Prabhu, the 80 sentences, that one can have a relationship with Krishna. In the, what does it say? Where's Bhagavad Gita? Can't remember exactly what it says. One can have a relationship with Krishna, in Shantaras, as a servant, in Shantaras, or as a friend. In a passive way in Shantaras, as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, or as what did it say? In conjugal ras. And I said, because my English wasn't very good then. I said, what's conjugal mean? So I looked it up in the dictionary, and it said, as a wife. So I read one can have a relationship with Krishna, as a wife. And I said, oh, that's the one. That's beautiful. That's fantastic. I was, at that time, I hadn't given up my own wife yet. I was still doggedly attached to the masculine egoism. But when I read that, it made such an impression, just that one little word, in Prabhupada's introduction, that I realized, just from that one word, that this is wonderful. Then after coming to the movement, and we started, we would read Krishna book every day when we come back from Harinam Sankirtan. We would do Harinam Sankirtan and distribute back to God in magazines, in dhoti and shaved head on the streets in Washington D.C. And we would sit around drinking the hot milk and taking a little Mahaprasad and reading Krishna book. And we read all these, chapters of Krishna book. There was no, taboo about reading Krishna book. We were supposed to read Krishna book because Prabhupada told that you should read it at least 15 minutes before taking rest, and you'll dream about Krishna. And we wanted to dream about Krishna. Krishna didn't appear to me in a dream. It wasn't a dream. It's one thing that we were reading Krishna book, and then because Prabhupada said that we'd dream about Krishna, and then I went to sleep and I dreamt about Krishna because I was reading Krishna book. That's well and good. But Krishna personally appeared. Transcendentally appearing, manifesting. giving me a spurti darshan of his real self, walking, talking, moving, flute playing Krishna. He didn't talk. He wasn't talking. They were playing their flutes. Amazing, tumultuous, wonderful. I'll never forget that sound vibration that I heard is eternally fixed in my mind. I'll never forget it. And the Ananda experience that I experienced at that time just totally overwhelmed my body. Still, I remain.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.